turn that down some of that noise in a second. What I got here is that base model Fender Mustang from Guitar Center. I didn't know that, listen to this. I didn't know that it would come in with the free built-in metronome. That's unbelievable. Let me turn down this noise. There we go. Now I just have a high-pitched noise. I got a Boss MT2 hooked in series with it. You know, cheap cable going to it, and some of that Nutric live wire going to the J Tercer, which is this. You know, the Fender Stratocaster knockoff by J Tercer. There's the snark. That's a must. Anyhow, I switched over to the J Tercer because I kept snapping my D string on the BC Rich. I don't know what I'm doing, but Mike, I'll ask you about that in private sometime. I think what I'm doing is I'm doing those the notes on the A, the palm muting on the A. I think I snap right into it, breaking that wound, the round wound part of the string. So I should probably just get a straight wire string, especially for the D. I'll probably transfer them all over. We'll see. It's a Jazz. I think it's a 10. I'm crying because I bought 3 packs and I should have done them all. I should have replaced every string, but I didn't. Anyhow, so I don't know what the metronome here is for. I didn't buy a metronome. I didn't ask for one. Let me take this off the tripod. I have it set to twin reverb. Now I got to refocus the camera. Yeah, let's get in a little bit more. I'm using a JVC HD, the GY series, and I don't have the zoom hooked up. So I got to refocus every time. Hi, it's me. I'm back again. I just wanted to show you whose strings I'm using. So let's start from the beginning. When I originally snapped the D string, I turned to Ernie Ball. And you know what? It was one of these from a pack. Obviously this wasn't the specific one. Although I think in the box I have that. And so I switched to him, and that D string lasted about 3 weeks. And then I cut right into it, doing, the usual shred motion that I seem to do incorrectly. And then I switched to one of these, which, not the 13, let me see which one I switched to. It was this, it was a 10. And that lasted about 2 weeks. And then I switched over to here. That lasted 3 or 4 weeks. And then I went to D'Addario, what I call the D'Addario Classics. And that lasted just three or 4 days. So something about the way I'm plucking, not plucking, but, the chuck-a-pluck motion that goes with playing shred and, the palm mutes on the A. Maybe I'm hitting the low E, the A, and then dipping down into the D. Maybe that's what's doing it. Not sure. So I'll be back in another minute. That's the way to do it, underneath. And this, and then tighten counterclockwise this way. So now, we're going to do the real thing. So let's get rid of the loop. keeping in mind how this wire went in. Here's the end of the string. Simply going to go underneath. Now let's see if it works. And it did. So there's a properly threaded tuning machine, through the hole of the tuning machine, and then around. There's one little last curvature on it where you go something like that, and then back under. I'm not sure what it is, but you see, as this is happening, you see, it's not bumping against this guy, which is what I was doing, when I was, an hour ago when I was an amateur BC Ridge Warlock stringer. So pretty simple, but I think that answers some questions about the way beginners might go about stringing guitar. You'll need to. You'll be like me. You'll put your pick through a couple of, through this material, this round wound material. I put my pick through about maybe 8 to 10 D strings since July. So today's the last day of the year. So yeah, I think I set the world's record for broken D strings. Now I have the BC Ridge. Let me see if I can move light on me a little bit. I have the BC Ridge with the new D string on it, installed almost correctly. I think that the point I wanted to make was nobody had really provided a YouTube video about changing strings on the Warlock KKW, any kind of Warlock, because it happens to be a KKW, but even with the diagrams I was stuck. So I remember when the guy at the guitar store told me, align the holes up and down, perpendicular to the headstock. And when you go in, just put it through, and then as you're going around, go under this piece, okay? Under your first wrap, and then out. There's one more little move which he talked about that I don't remember, but this works fine. At least now, you see this string isn't touching against this, the other tuning machine, or the A string. So there's no rubbing going on, so that's good. Mike, I wanted to ask about your Jackson. I wanted to know why. Can you explain how that thing is set up? I'll just ask you. I'll play this note. It's a slide, and I'm just not getting what I thought I should be getting from it. And I think that has to do with the way these humbuckers are set up. Now I have that 3-position toggle switch position. But what I was going to say about your Jackson is that really it it looks like you've got a humbucker right down here near the bridge. Whereas with my J Tercer, you know, it's pickups, you know, regular traditional coil style pickups. With the BC Rich, it's two humbuckers. So you got on your Jackson, it's one humbucker and then two regular normal style coil pickups. So the question is, does that affect the way you seem to be picking up these more, you know, specialized notes, I'll call them? Is there any correlation there? That's one question. And now let me just give you a demonstration. Now I've got a, I got it on Dan Electro Cool Cat